Get ready for the ultimate countdown of 15 unforgettable 80s cartoons you absolutely should remember. From early morning classics that turned Saturdays into pure magic, to action-packed adventures that rewrote the rulebook for kids' TV, each entry on this list defined a generation and sparked a global animation boom. We're ranking the shows that captured the highest ratings, inspired endless toy lines, and still fuel endless nostalgia today. Some may be childhood legends, others might surprise you with their massive pop culture impact. Which cartoon will claim the top spot from this golden era? Let's dive in, starting with number 15. Number 15 on our list, Inspector Gadget brought a new kind of hero to 80s animation. He might have been a bumbling detective, but his arsenal of extendable limbs, helicopter hats, and endless gadgets made every episode a chaotic ride. Premiering in 1983, this show was a true international production, blending French, Japanese, and American animation styles. The title character, voiced by Don Adams, stumbled through cases while the real problem-solving came from his niece Penny and her resourceful dog, Brain. Inspector Gadget's slapstick chases and wild inventions made it a favorite for kids, but there was more going on behind the scenes. The show's creative team, led by Jean Chalopin, pioneered global partnerships that would become the norm for cartoons by the decade's end. Syndication helped Inspector Gadget reach homes across the country at all hours, and its catchy theme song became instantly recognizable. The show's success also proved that animated series could thrive outside of Saturday mornings, opening doors for future hits. Even today, Inspector Gadget's mix of humor, action, and international flair stands out as a defining moment in 80s cartoon history. Number 14 on our list, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe changed the rules for cartoons and toys in 1983. In the land of Eternia, Prince Adam raises his sword and transforms into He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. His mission: defend Castle Grayskull from the evil sorcerer Skeletor and his army of bumbling villains. The show's blend of fantasy, action, and moral lessons made it a staple for kids racing home after school. Every episode ended with a quick life lesson, delivered by He-Man himself, a move that was both a response to parental complaints about violence and a clever way to win over adults. Behind the scenes, Mattel's toy line was the driving force, with new characters and vehicles appearing in the cartoon just as they hit store shelves. The animation, produced by Filmation, gave the series its bold look, and the voice cast brought unforgettable personalities to life. At its peak, He-Man inspired a wave of merchandise, spin-offs, and even a live-action movie. The catchphrase, "I have the power," echoed in playgrounds across America, cementing He-Man's place as a true icon of the 80s cartoon era. Number 13 on our list, the Transformers redefined what an action cartoon could be when it hit American screens in 1984. The story began on Cybertron, a war-torn planet where the heroic Autobots, led by Optimus Prime, faced off against the evil Decepticons under Megatron's ruthless command. As their battle spilled over to Earth, kids everywhere were hooked by the promise that ordinary vehicles could transform into towering robots. Every episode delivered high-stakes conflict, daring rescues, and a cast of characters with distinct personalities and memorable voices. Peter Cullen's deep, commanding Optimus Prime and Frank Welker's chilling Megatron set the standard for cartoon heroism and villainy. The show's animation was produced through a partnership between Sunbow, Marvel Productions, and Japanese studios like Toei and Acom, giving it a sleek, dynamic style that set it apart from its rivals. But the real revolution was in the synergy between the show and the Hasbro toy line. New characters and vehicles appeared on TV just as they arrived in stores, driving a marketing juggernaut that saw Transformers toys fly off the shelves. The series even dared to kill off main characters in its 1986 animated movie, shocking fans and proving that this was a cartoon unafraid to take risks. More than just a toy commercial, Transformers became a pop culture force, with a legacy that continues to roll out decades later. Number 12 on our list, Thundercats roared onto television screens in 1985, unleashing a band of sword-wielding feline heroes who quickly became legends of 80s animation. The story begins on the doomed planet Thundera, where the Thundercats, led by their young leader Lion-O, are forced to flee after disaster strikes their home. Crash landing on Third Earth, they must defend themselves against the sinister sorcerer Mumra and his monstrous minions. The show's blend of fantasy action, sci-fi gadgets, and supernatural villains set it apart from the typical Saturday morning fare. Rankin and Bass, best known for holiday specials, produced the series with animation handled by Japanese studio Pacific Animation Corporation, infusing the visuals with a dynamic, anime-inspired energy. The theme song, with its thunderous chant and pounding drums, became instantly recognizable, and the Sword of Omens, with its call for Thundercats Ho, turned into a playground catchphrase. Thundercats wasn't just about battles and monsters, it also explored themes of teamwork, responsibility, and courage, giving kids more than just flashy fights. LJN's action figure line hit shelves soon after, making Lion-O, Panthro, and Cheetara household names. Thundercats ran for 4 seasons, cementing its place as a cornerstone of 80s cartoon culture and leaving a legacy that still sparks nostalgia decades later. Number 11 on our list, G.I. Joe, a real American hero, stormed onto television in 1983, bringing military action and covert missions to weekday afternoons. The animated series followed an elite team of soldiers, each with their own codename and specialty, as they battled the terrorist organization known as Cobra. What set G.I. Joe apart was its deep roster of characters: Duke, Scarlet, Snake Eyes, and dozens more, each introduced with their own backstory, often pulled straight from the file cards attached to Hasbro's action figures. The show's blend of high-tech vehicles, outlandish plots, and explosive battles made every episode feel like a blockbuster movie for kids. Marvel Productions and Sunbow handled the animation, with Japanese studios like Toei and Acom lending their skills for dynamic action sequences. G.I. Joe's storylines were often shaped by the toy line, with new vehicles and characters debuting on screen just as they hit toy shelves. The famous public service announcements at the end of each episode, "Now you know, and knowing is half the battle," became a pop culture catchphrase, cementing the show's place in the collective memory of a generation. G.I. Joe didn't just sell toys, it built a universe inspiring comics, movies, and a fan base that still rallies behind the real American hero. Number 10 on our list, Ducktales soared onto TV screens in 1987, redefining what a weekday cartoon could be. The story followed Scrooge McDuck, the world's richest duck, as he dragged his nephews Huey, Dewey, and Louie on globe-trotting adventures to hunt for treasure, outwit villains like Flintheart Glomgold, and protect his legendary fortune. Disney poured unprecedented resources into DuckTales, giving it crisp, cinematic animation and a rousing theme song that stuck in kids' heads for years. The show's blend of slapstick humor, clever mysteries, and heartfelt family moments set it apart from the toy-driven cartoons dominating the era. DuckTales also sparked a syndication revolution. Disney locked down after-school time slots in over 100 markets, kicking off what became known as the Disney Afternoon. The cast of characters, including Launchpad McQuack, Webby Vanderquack, and the Beagle Boys, became instant favorites, and the series inspired a wave of merchandise, comic books, and even a feature film. DuckTales' success proved that high-quality animation and smart storytelling could win over both kids and adults, paving the way for a new era of television cartoons. Its influence is still felt today, with reboots and collectibles keeping the spirit of adventure alive for a new generation. Number 9 on our list, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles exploded onto television screens in 1987, turning 4 sewer-dwelling turtles into global icons. Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael began life as ordinary pets, But after a mysterious ooze transformed them into humanoid ninjas, their world shifted to one of secret hideouts and epic battles. Trained by their wise rat Sensei Splinter, the turtles faced off against the villainous Shredder and his mutant henchmen, all while navigating the streets of New York City from their underground lair. The series was famous for its blend of slapstick humor, martial arts action, and catchphrases like "Cowabunga, dude," that became playground staples. Animation for the early seasons was handled by Murakami Wolf Swenson and Fred Wolf Films, but as syndication expanded, the show's rapid production schedule led to some infamous animation errors. Miscolored bandanas and swapped voices kept eagle-eyed fans on their toes. Despite the occasional glitch, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles captured the spirit of the late 80s, launching a tidal wave of merchandise, from action figures to lunchboxes. The pizza-loving heroes didn't just entertain, they shaped a generation's sense of fun and adventure, leaving a mark that's still visible in pop culture, decades after their debut. Number 8 on our list, the Smurfs turned Saturday mornings into a sea of blue, enchanting kids and adults alike from 1981 all the way through 1989. Deep in a magical forest, a hidden village bustled with tiny blue creatures, each named for their defining trait: brainy, jokey, clumsy, and of course, the wise Papa Smurf. The show's gentle humor and whimsical adventures set it apart from the action-heavy cartoons of the era, offering a world where problems were solved with teamwork, clever tricks, and the occasional spell. Hanna-Barbera's animation brought the Belgian comic by Peyo to life, and the voice cast, Don Messick, Danny Goldman, and Frank Welker, turned simple characters into household names. The Smurfs didn't just win the ratings war, frequently topping Saturday morning charts. They also spawned a merchandising empire, from lunchboxes to video games, and inspired several spin-off specials. Their catchy theme song and the ever-present threat of Gargamel and his cat Azrael gave every episode a familiar rhythm, while the show's bright color palette and innocent tone made it a favorite for younger viewers. The Smurfs' global reach extended far beyond American TV, with dubbed versions airing in dozens of countries. For nearly a decade, these three apples-tall heroes proved that you didn't need laser battles or toy tie-ins to capture the world's imagination. Sometimes all it took was a little blue magic. Number 7 on our list, Voltron, Defender of the Universe, electrified weekday afternoons in 1984, introducing a new breed of robot action. 5 young pilots, each commanding a robotic lion, banded together to form Voltron, a towering super robot tasked with defending the planet Arus from the evil forces of King Zarkon and Prince Lodor of Planet Doom. Adapted from 2 Japanese anime series, Voltron fused space opera with giant mecha battles, bringing a distinctly international flavor to American screens. The show's serialized structure, with cliffhangers and ongoing story arcs, set it apart from the mostly episodic cartoons of its era. Animation was handled by Toei, giving the series dynamic visuals that stood out among its peers. Merchandise followed swiftly. Die-cast lion toys, action figures, and lunchboxes became must-haves for young fans, while the show's theme song and transformation sequences burned themselves into pop culture memory. Voltron's diverse team dynamic, with characters from different backgrounds and personalities, made it easy for kids to find a favorite pilot. The series ran for 2 main seasons, but inspired spin-offs, comics, and a passionate fan base that endures to this day. For many, Voltron was their first taste of anime-style storytelling, opening the door to a whole new world of animation. Number 6 on our list, Jem and the Holograms brought neon glam and rockstar drama to the world of 80s animation. Premiering in 1985, the show followed Jerrica Benton, a record label owner who transforms into the dazzling pop idol Jem with help from a holographic computer named Synergy. Together with her band, the Holograms, Jem faced off against the rival Misfits in battles that mixed music, fashion, and intrigue. Each episode pulsed with original songs and animated music videos, setting it apart from the action-heavy cartoons dominating the era. Hasbro's involvement meant the show doubled as a launchpad for a line of dolls, but Gem's appeal ran deeper than product placement. The series tackled themes of identity, friendship, and empowerment, giving girls a dynamic cast of heroines who weren't afraid to take the stage. The animation, handled by Toei in Japan, delivered a vibrant, energetic look that matched the show's high-octane soundtrack. Voice actors like Samantha Newark and Britta Phillips brought Gem to life, while Patricia Alice Albrecht's pizzazz kept the competition fierce. Gem and the Holograms didn't just entertain, it inspired a cult following, with fans still singing along to Truly Outrageous decades later. The series proved that cartoons could be both glamorous and heartfelt, leaving a shimmering mark on 80s pop culture. Number 5 on our list, the real Ghostbusters brought supernatural comedy to Saturday mornings in 1986, spinning off from the blockbuster film and turning ghost hunting into a weekly cartoon event. The series followed Peter, Ray, Egon, and Winston as they tackled everything from mischievous poltergeists to ancient gods, all with the help of their wisecracking green sidekick, Slimer. Animation duties were handled by DIC, with character designs that softened the movie's edgy look for a younger audience. The voice cast featured Lorenzo Music as the laid-back Peter Venkman and Maurice LaMarche as the brainy Egon, giving the show a distinct personality that set it apart from the film. Each episode combined slapstick humor, spooky set pieces, and clever monster designs, making it a hit with kids who might have been too young for the big screen scares. The show didn't just recycle movie plots, it invented a whole universe of original ghosts and villains, from the Boogeyman to Samhain, expanding the Ghostbusters mythos far beyond what fans saw in theaters. Merchandising followed quickly, with action figures, Ecto-1 playsets, and lunchboxes turning the cartoon into a playground staple. The real Ghostbusters ran for 7 seasons, outlasting many of its contemporaries and proving that the combination of scares, laughs, and friendship could keep audiences coming back for more. Even today, the show stands as a high point of 80s animation, remembered for its catchy theme, inventive stories, and the way it made the paranormal feel downright fun. Number 4 on our list, Alvin and the Chipmunks brought a classic act into the 1980s and gave it a pop culture makeover that lasted the whole decade. Revived in 1983, the show followed the misadventures of Alvin, Simon, and Theodore, 3 chipmunk brothers with a knack for getting into trouble and a talent for turning any scenario into a musical number. Managed by their patient adoptive father, Dave Seville, the Chipmunks tackled everything from schoolyard antics to full-blown rock star fame, all while performing covers and parodies of contemporary hits. The animation, produced by Bagdasarian Productions and Ruby Spears, kept the designs simple but expressive, letting the music and slapstick humor take center stage. What set this version apart was its embrace of 80s pop culture. Episodes riffed on everything from breakdancing to video games, and the Chipmunks' chart-topping albums made them a real-world musical act, not just cartoon characters. The show's voice cast, led by Ross Bagdasarian Jr. and Janice Carmen, used sped-up recordings to create the signature chipmunk sound, a technique that became instantly recognizable. Alvin and the Chipmunks ran for 8 seasons, earning Emmy nominations and a devoted fan base, while the characters appeared on lunchboxes, cassettes, and even in a feature film. Their high-energy antics and catchy tunes ensured that the Chipmunks were more than a nostalgia act. They were a defining sound of Saturday mornings in the 80s. Number 3 on our list, She-Ra, Princess of Power, burst onto the scene in 1985, bringing a new kind of hero to the world of 80s animation. Adora, twin sister of Prince Adam, wields the Sword of Protection and transforms into She-Ra, leading the Great Rebellion against the evil Hordak in the magical land of Etheria. The show's fantasy setting was rich with castles, sorcery, and futuristic technology, but it was She-Ra's strength and compassion that set her apart from the muscle-bound heroes of the era. Produced by Filmation as a direct spin-off from He-Man, She-Ra was designed to appeal to girls, but her adventures drew in viewers of all kinds. The voice cast, led by Melendi Britt, gave She-Ra a commanding presence, while Alan Oppenheimer and Linda Gary filled out a colorful roster of allies and foes. Beyond the action, She-Ra tackled themes of friendship, justice, and equality, often weaving in messages of empowerment that resonated with a generation. Mattel's toy line quickly followed, introducing figures like Bo, Katra, and Swift Wind, and cementing She-Ra's place in the crowded toy aisles of the 80s. The show also made headlines behind the scenes, as voice actors like Britt advocated for on-screen credit and fair pay, sparking changes in industry standards. With vibrant animation, memorable music, and a legacy that includes modern reboots, She-Ra stands as a trailblazer, proving that a princess could lead the charge and inspire fans for decades to come. Number 2 on our list, Muppet Babies took a beloved cast of puppet icons and reimagined them as animated toddlers with boundless imaginations. Debuting in 1984, the series placed Kermit, Piggy, Fozzie, Gonzo, and the rest in a colorful nursery where everyday objects became spaceships, castles, and wild adventure backdrops. The show's signature style was its use of fantasy sequences, blending traditional animation with live-action film clips, sending the babies into everything from classic movies to outer space. Jim Henson's creative team worked with Marvel Productions to ensure the series captured the warmth, humor, and gentle chaos of the original Muppets, while voice actors like Greg Berg and Laurie O'Brien gave the characters a playful, youthful energy. Muppet Babies stood out for its focus on creativity and teamwork. Every episode encouraged kids to solve problems using their imagination rather than gadgets or violence. The show's catchy theme song and gentle humor made it a favorite for both kids and parents, and its success led to a wave of merchandise, from plush toys to storybooks. Muppet Babies ran for 8 seasons, picking up Emmy Awards and leaving a legacy as one of the most imaginative cartoons of the 80s. Its influence can still be felt in the way animated shows encourage creativity and friendship decades after the nursery doors first opened. And finally, in first place, Care Bears made caring cool for an entire generation of kids in the 1980s. Debuting in 1985, the animated series followed a group of colorful bears living in the magical land of Care-a-Lot, each one marked by a unique belly badge that reflected their personality and special power. From Tenderheart's leadership to Grumpy's lovable pessimism, these characters taught lessons about friendship, empathy, and emotional honesty through every adventure. The Care Bears faced off against villains like No Heart and his bumbling sidekick, Beastly, but the real focus was always on solving problems with kindness and teamwork. The show's gentle tone and pastel palette set it apart from the action-packed cartoons that filled the airwaves, making it a favorite for younger viewers and parents alike. Behind the scenes, American Greetings and DIC Animation City crafted a world that was as much about plush toys and greeting cards as it was about storytelling. The plush toys had already taken the toy aisles by storm before the cartoon even aired, and the series only boosted their popularity, leading to movies, books, and a wave of merchandise that seemed to touch every corner of childhood in the mid-80s. Care Bears didn't just entertain, they shaped attitudes, encouraging kids to express their feelings and look out for others. The show's enduring legacy can still be felt today, with reboots and collectibles keeping the spirit of Care-a-Lot alive for new generations. In an era dominated by battles and brawn, the Care Bears proved that sometimes the greatest superpower is just a little bit of heart. Across all 15 entries, our journey through the essential 80s cartoons reveals more than just nostalgia. They shaped a generation. From the explosive rise of toy-driven series to unexpected genre crossovers and international animation partnerships, the list spotlights how the decade's cartoons blended entertainment with marketing in a way no era had before. The most surprising entries, those that broke the mold with bold storytelling or visual style, show just how experimental the 1980s could be, even within the boundaries of Saturday morning TV. Each show qualified for this list by reaching significant popularity, cultural impact, and enduring recognition, whether through iconic characters, memorable themes, or syndicated success. What ties them all together is their lasting influence. These cartoons didn't just entertain, they pioneered new forms of animated storytelling and merchandising that still echo today. Looking back, the 80s cartoon boom stands as a golden age, proving that creativity and commerce could collide to create legends. These shows aren't just memories, they're milestones in animation history.